Greetings, boys and girls. This is Mr. Montano talking to you live from YouTube studio. Just wanted to talk briefly about our new unit in space, satellites, planets, and beyond. Space satellites, planets, and beyond. So we'll be talking about first of all, our space, our universe, and we'll be talking about our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, and our solar system within that galaxy, which consists of 9 planets, which includes us, planet Earth. We'll be talking about the 4 solid planets, beginning with Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars, then separated by an asteroid belt. And then we'll be talking about the larger planets, beginning with Jupiter, Saturn, then, of course, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Although there's some debate that with some scientists who believe that Pluto is nothing more than a satellite, a moon. Another name for a moon is a satellite. So they believe that that particular satellite, that particular one called Pluto, is not a planet, but a moon out of orbit. And the orbit that he was in, they believe, was Neptune's orbit. I happen to disagree with that. I understand that every 5 to 7 years, Neptune, along with Pluto, will switch orbits every 5 to 7 years. And so I feel that Pluto, being one of the smaller outer planets, or we call them gaseous planets, I feel that it's a planet and it's not a moon. Okay. And as you know, many of the larger planets, the gaseous planets like Saturn and Jupiter, many of them contain more than one moon. In fact, at last count, I believe Jupiter had 17 moons. It's believed that it had 17 moons at one time. And I believe they've discovered more. And if memory serves me correct, the same is true of Saturn. But in any case, I wanted to share with you what we'll be talking about today. We'll be sharing about the essential question we have before us, the focus question. And that is, why is Earth just right for living things? And so many of you who may have missed out on the story about Goldilocks, the Goldilocks Planet, was referring to how Earth is just right for living things. And in the reading, it talks about why it was just right. As you know, the traditional story of Goldilocks goes back to where Goldilocks is wandering in the woods to visit her friends, the 3 bears, Mama Bear, Papa Bear, and Baby Bear. And so when she does go to their home, finds that she's not there, she finds other things. She didn't find the bears who were out walking in the woods while their porridge was cooling. But nonetheless, Goldilocks comes upon the porridge. She finds that the large bowl, Papa Bear's bowl, the porridge in it is way too hot. And she goes to Mama bowl, which is a bit smaller. It's way too cold. The bowl is just the right size, and it happens to be just right. Not too hot, not too cold. Some would say lukewarm. So in this case, it was lukewarm and very comfortable to eat. Bored, waiting on the bears to come back, and so she decides to take a nap, and the same thing happens. She looks for a bed to lay upon. And Mama Bear's felt like feathers, and firm and comfortable. So along with that, the story goes on to talk about comparatively, comparing and contrasting, how the planet Earth is just right for living things and what things are just right. And we're going to talk about that right now. In our story that we read, the Goldilocks Planet, we come upon the first condition, which is the Earth is made of solid mass, made of rock. And so it's not like the gaseous planets, which would support us. Not only is it the wrong kind of gas to breathe, so that we would pass right through it. The gravitational pull on a gaseous planet isn't enough to keep us on the gas itself, so we just fall right through the gaseous planet. But in any case, it's a wonder those gaseous planets don't spin out of orbit. They stay intact and they stay in orbit. And as long as the sun The sun's gravitational pull keeps the solar system in check, keeps it in order. So, along with that, the Earth is a landmass that's solid, made of rock, sand, and of course, dirt, compacted. People walking and riding and driving and all over it. And it's a nice, comfortable place to live because you can go on a hike or you can go on a nature hike looking to plant something or to discover something. And so the earth is just right for that. And not only that, we can plant upon it, we can grow upon it, we can also build upon it. So it provides us with shelter and protection. And it also provides gas, the kind of gas we need, called oxygen, air to breathe. And of course, we have a relationship with the plants, trees, and shrubs and grass that grow around us. It releases all the oxygen that we need, and dioxide that it needs to survive because plants, trees, and shrubs and grass, they need that carbon dioxide to survive. So we have a great ongoing relationship. And it's one we both reciprocate from. That means we both share. We share it with them and they share it with us. Words, I have your essential questions. So please take a moment to observe these at this time. So you'll see that the essential question, and I'll pose my camera in front of the whiteboard so that you're able to see both the question and the words. And so we have our question here, the essential question: why is Earth just right for living things? And in answering that, I've given you some of the clues. Oh, and more importantly, how about the water? We're one of the few planets that has water, actually liquid water. Plants, part of this beautiful garden, and also nourishment to our bodies and to our brains. You got three things. You have a wonderful body of water. Some instances there's droughts, but in most cases we try to conserve our water usage so that we have a future. Because remember, it's a limited resource. And replenish it, but it comes at a very heavy cost. Okay, so we have to be careful. So we have to conserve our water usage. Okay, so the essential question is what I want. Next thing I want you to take a look at are vocabulary words for our satellites, space, and planets and beyond. And there's four of them. The first one being satellite. Remember that I shared with you that a moon is considered a satellite. Lunar. Lunar having the word in it, which commonly refers to the moon. Lunar, the moon. And then, of course, number three, Spanish, we say sol. So in Spanish, it's sol. Solar, meaning to do with the moon. Anything with the sun, solar, has to do with the sun. Number four is our universe. We live in the universe, a wonderful galaxy referred to as a galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy is where you'll in our solar system, meteors, an asteroid belt, planets, yes, meteors and asteroids. So it really involves a great deal of cosmos, the great universe itself. In fact, our universe, our spiral galaxy, referred to as the Milky Way, of different galaxies. cosmos. So I wanted to share that with you. So now that we're completed and we can take a look at what else we can do, we're going to talk about develop and construct some of the planets that we just discussed and talked about. Okay. The four inner planets that are separated by an asteroid belt from both the gaseous planets. Or you can even refer to them as the smaller planets versus the larger planets. So there's three ways to look at it. Okay. One is by size, of course. Another one is determined by, or in this particular case, gas. And then, of course, the third element, the third being not only size, but mineral, but it's also referring to what we call the inner and outer planets separated by an asteroid belt. So its location and proximity to the sun. So the closest planets to the sun are those four I just mentioned: Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Those are commonly referred to as the inner planets. They are separated by an asteroid belt. And then those located furthest from the sun are the larger planets, or the gaseous planets. And those would be Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. In any case, what I want you to understand is that in our solar system, there's a total of what I believe to be 9 planets, not 8. And in there, all these different satellites, all these moons, stars and stardust, and there's millions and millions of stars beyond our universe. In fact, there are billions and millions of stars. Within our universe, our spiral galaxy, for example, there are millions of stars. And who knows? I'm sure there are other systems as well. Maybe lunar systems, maybe solar systems, maybe systems that consist of neither the lunar nor the solar, but I find that hard to believe because, as you know, the sun is a star. So you need to understand that. We refer to the sun as the sun, but the sun is actually a star. It's a giant star. And it too is limited in terms of how long it will survive. So it has a lifespan, and then it'll slowly disappear. But it won't be for possibly thousands upon thousands of years when that happens. So in any case, let's go ahead and move forward. And I'm going to talk to you about your assignment. On your assignment, you will have to define your vocabulary words that I shared with you. And then also you have an assignment quiz of 3 questions consisting of what we're learning today. And in that quiz, I'm going to be asking you to name 2 of the inner planets and 2 of the outer planets, or I might say name 2 gaseous planets and 2 solid planets. And then I might ask a second question that refers to the question that we had, the essential question, the focus question. What one thing do you suppose makes Earth just right? Is it the distance from the sun? Is it the water that we have and drink and use to harvest vegetables, fruits, and etc., and provide new life, trees, and grass, etc.? Or I might ask you, list all 9 planets. So I'm going to ask you to include Neptune and Pluto as part of the planets that right now there is some debate over whether or not it's a planet. And maybe share your thoughts on that. Okay. The other thing I want you to think about is, what are satellites? Is it just moons? Could it be a star? Could it be a meteor? Could it be an asteroid? Could it be a comet flying by? And so specifically it talks about those things out in space. So satellite, I'm not referring to the satellite dishes that are satellites like the moons of Saturn, the moons of Jupiter, our moon. I do believe that Uranus has a moon or two moons, like more. She created Uranus. She had a beautiful picture. Then, of course, she had planet Mars, the red planet. Okay. And that came behind the Earth, a fair distance away from the Earth. Okay. Or smallest Pluto, which is way out here. We have them arranged as such, okay? And eventually, what I want, and water putty you can buy fairly cheap. I bought at Home Depot. They had them on sale for $1.49. The powder um, um, inside the can here. And like I said, 3 parts of that to 1 part of water, or 1.5 parts of water, okay? And in the water, of course, that turns into use more. The lid nice and tight to keep it dry. That, my friends, sums up what we've been doing as our opening. We'll continue to be working this unit, the total of 7 weeks, starting with this week, of course. So if you missed the lesson or anything, always refer to the videos that I'll be posting weekly, okay? And so make it a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Gotta wear that mask, okay? Wash your hands and keep your distance at 6 feet, okay?